Don't forget to suck some titties.
That I had some classmates in senior year, and they do podcasts now, right? And it's odd. Like, sometimes you think that when you do something that's kind of looked upon, not necessarily frowned upon, but there's obviously a lot of judgment for people that do this, and if it's not quote unquote successful at that point in time. And you really kind of live in an insular world where you really feel like you're the only one that's trying to do something cool, you know? And you realize now when people say that everyone is trying to do a podcast, they're not complaining. They're not lying. But actually I happened to come across a podcast, and it's with an old classmate of mine. I had no clue he did it. He does one with a friend. They like review movies. And I actually listened last night when I was going to sleep. And I actually really liked it. It was like a really good quality, good podcast. And it kind of speaks to, we know the big ones. We know the ones that are in the top 100 list, the ones that get pushed on us, the ones that show up in everyone's algorithm no matter how much they never click on the videos. You get pushed on enough, you're going to fucking click it. And I randomly came across this. I'm like, that guy looks familiar. And I click on him, I'm like, holy shit, it's Tim. I'm not going to give away his name. I'm not really I never really knew the guy like that. We were never close friends or nothing like that. But it's kind of weird how common interests can come between people that never really hung out, were friends, or cool. He may not even remember me like that. But it's really cool because it's almost when you listen to a podcast of someone that you went to school with 10 years later, it's almost like you've grown through life with that person without knowing anything about their life. Like, you could pick up tidbits of, them becoming a father, their situations. They were reviewing a movie called, the Think Like a Man movie. Him, his co-host, and they had a guest on there. Let's just say she blew it out of the water. It's a compliment. You have to watch it to get it. But I'm like, man, this shit's really cool. Like, you're like, man, over time, it's funny how there's so many similar experiences from two people that have never talked to each other. But I'm pretty sure he would have seen me. He probably would have recognized me. But it's just kind of cool. We both do the same thing. And we're two completely different. Like, he was a really cool, down to earth. Like, he just seemed like a genuine nice dude. And I was just kind of this socially to myself person. And two odds of the spectrum do the same job would be because typically you get paid for a job. But we do the same thing because we enjoy it and love it. So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting. And I guess it just speaks to the overall, like, people saying, people making jokes, because there's a lot of these TikTok podcasts, where the clips are the same. They're all edited the same. It feels like you're listening to the same podcast, 8 different versions of saying nothing. They add the same sound effects, the same switches, the same text to grab everyone's attention. And it feels like every clip is the same, where you can't even distinguish a personality. It really feels like podcasting has turned from getting involved in the personality of someone into really just sinking into the conversation that you're listening to, or sinking into the vibe. Some people listen to stuff for information. Some people listen for entertainment. Some people listen to just escape. Some people because they feel a common connection spiritually. Some because they want some divisiveness. Everyone has their different reasons. But there's a real life attachment that you feel towards that. Where now it feels like when I get pushed clips from shows or podcasts or whatever, like, it feels like everyone's doing the same editing, right? And it takes skill. Like, it's much more skill than I have editing. But the thing is, it becomes so saturated, it feels like you're just listening to the same stuff over and over. And that's kind of the issue when everything has been cut up to just 30-second clips, 5-minute clips, at most 10 minutes. That we become more attached to the spectacle. We become more attached to a style of what we're seeing more than actually what we're feeling and hearing, right? It's kind of like, it's weird. The beauty of podcasting before, of listening to podcasts, was you could just fall into your feminine side. You just, it's about what you feel, how it makes you feel, Now it's just, what do my eyes see? Tits, yellow font, sound effects, boom, buzzwords. And there's no real in-depth feeling anymore. But, and it's nice to just have like podcasts on your small level, and they're actually good quality shows. A lot of these smaller shows are better than these big ones that get pushed. Like, it feels like a lot of things that get pushed, if they weren't part of a network that could have the networking and advertisement and algorithm, like people that's job is to know every little thing to push in the algorithm. Like, I didn't know Alex Cooper had a podcast network, the Call Her Daddy Girl. There's been this big thing. I should have wrote this down. But I think it's a Sophia Wood. Something like that. But it is these podcasts that it's just the same bland white woman. It really feels like there's just this umbrella of I'm having a hard time explaining this. This is a bad skill to have as a podcaster where you can't explain what you're talking about. But it's just so frustrating. It makes it where I think the reason why they say it's harder to push through the podcast or just like the YouTube or content creation like bubble. It's harder than ever because, one, there's so many people doing it. So obviously you got saturated fill. You got to do more, or you got to be more unique to stand out. But it's actually, you have to be more like everyone to stand out, if that makes sense. It's the same, like if you've ever watched up and coming shows where people are trying to get off the ground, they rent studios. It's the same purple lit up globe background. And they just rent out studios in the downtown city. And the only thing that separates that from another podcast that rent out the same studio is just the people. But the visual, there's almost like a understanding when someone sees that visual, oh, this is a legitimate podcast because they rented out a studio, high quality editing, high quality audio, which is fair. But you notice anyone where everyone just uses the same background and studio, they kind of just blend together. There's nothing unique about it.